In this Rules and Mechanics video, we're going to cover the penalties, what penalties are, and the hand signals and mechanics. Now, real quick, a recap. We have illegal holds, unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct, technical violations, flagrant misconduct, and coach misconduct. We're also going to give you some examples of potentially dangerous. Now, real quick, just a introduction, if you will. The illegal hold signal is like a full Nelson. Doesn't matter if it's red or green. You would stop the match, blow the whistle, stop the match, and you would say it. Illegal hold, red. 1 green. Illegal hold. Unnecessary roughness is out in front of you. Whichever wrestler commits the penalty, you hold that hand out in front of you. Unnecessary roughness, red. 1 green. Unnecessary roughness, red. 1 green. Or unnecessary roughness, green. 1 red. Unnecessary roughness, green. 1 red. Technical violation, there's a couple of those. We want to signal it. Technical violation, doesn't matter if how you hold your hands. Technical violation, you would hold your hand out to the side a little bit. So say if it's on green, tech violation green, 1 red. Tech violation green, 1 red. Or tech violation red, 1 green. Tech violation red, 1 green. Now, of course, you wouldn't do that twice like that. I'm doing that just for demonstration. On the locking hands is above our head. We would stop the match if the situation, you'll see an example of that. We blow the whistle, stop the match. Tech violation red. Locking hands, 1 green. Or if it's on the red wrestler or the green wrestler, whichever, you'd give the penalty to the opposite person. Flagrant misconduct, that is a complete termination of the match, removal of the wrestler or the person involved. It's, of course, you'd stop the match. Flagrant misconduct, green, an ejection. You'd have to go to the score table and take off team points, tell the administration this person's got to be removed, but all you're doing is a pat in your head. Flagrant misconduct, green. Flagrant misconduct, red. On the unsportsmanlike, now I've showed the example of holding your hand out to the side. The only reason we're doing that is because we're signifying which wrestler committed the offense. For unsportsmanlike conduct, this can occur during the match or anytime wrestling's not going on, and you need to make sure you're letting the score table know when the offense occurred. So it would be stop the match. You would say it, unsportsmanlike conduct, green, 1 red. Unsportsmanlike conduct, red, 1 green. So if you have a situation that occurs during the match, unsportsmanlike, and you feel that it needs to go towards the person's 2 for the day, you need to signify that. If it's just during the match, then you would just do like normal. Now the penalty progression is the first offense is not a warning like with stalling. It's a 1 match point. The second offense is a single match point. The third offense is 2. And on the fourth offense, it's a DQ. Now those can be cumulative. That can be 2 illegal holds, a unnecessary roughness, and let's say the fourth one was another technical violation. The match is over. Now you're not ejected from the tournament for that, but you are done with that match. That's something about the penalties. Unless the wrestler is told they're ejected, the coach, whoever it may be, when the match ends, the penalties stop as well outside of the flagrant and your 2 unsportsmanlike conducts for the tournament that are not in a match. Now the coach misconduct, it's a fist out to the side. And that only occurs when a coach takes the official to the table to question the rule or their interpretation. Take you to the table, you would do, I got coach misconduct, green. Now if the coaches get a warning, then it's a penalty. Coach misconduct, red. If it was a team point, you'd go to the score table and say, I've got deduction of 1 team point for whatever the name of the school is, for their second coach misconduct. So again, illegal holds, tech violations, locking hands, unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct, flagrant, green or red, coach misconduct, green or red. One of the penalties, of course, is illegal hold. We know that we should be familiar with the signal. An illegal hold can come from a move, as you'll see here, or from a slam. Now, a slam is a little bit different of an example, but you're going to see how to call it if a move occurs. So our top wrestler here, our green wrestler, he's working and he's going to commit an illegal hold violation. So we're here, go ahead, men. He committed a full Nelson. As you can see, I stopped, as soon as I saw it, I stopped the match, raised my hand. Ease up, guys. When you call a penalty in a match, unlike with calling points, we want to give the points, then our signal. With a penalty, you want to give the penalty signal, then the point. We would say, with our penalty, we would give our signal first, then we would give our point. So our green wrestler committed the offense. We'd look at our score table and say, we have illegal hold on green, 1 red. Illegal hold, green, 1 red. We would get set as if we were out of bounds. Now, of course, if that was our green wrestler's 4th penalty, that would terminate the match. But for this demonstration, we're just showing you that's how you call a penalty, no matter what it is. Any illegal hold, whether it's a twisting key lock, forceful application of a choke on the neck, something to that effect, we want to stop the match, find our score table, whichever wrestler committed the offense, red or green, we would signal it. Illegal hold, green, 1 red. Get set as if we're out of bounds. Now we're going to show you the illegal hold signal also, but it's used for a slam. Legal hold, green, 1 red. Also, an illegal hold, the symbol is a slam, and we want to show you an example. Now, these guys are friends. They're not going to, teammates, they're not going to kill each other. We just want to show you how to call it. So, we see what's coming. We know that our red wrestler here has got the body lock. Go ahead and raise. Now, stop right there. Lay him back down. When you see wrestlers' feet leave the mat, you need to be saying, easy return, easy down, easy down, easy down. We don't want to be saying or giving them encouragement, hey, try to put him through the floor. Don't do that, referees. When you see feet come off the mat, you need to be saying verbally, easy down, easy return. So we're going to, a very, very easy example, and then I'm going to stop the match, give the illegal hold, slam, go from there. So if you would, go ahead. We see feet are coming up. Easy down, easy down. Now, of course, that was easy. Return, stay what you got. When we see the slam is to be called without hesitation. We would stop the match. I have illegal hold, slam, red, 1 green. Slams are to be called without hesitation. Keep in mind, like we said in the other video, these flex roll mats, they do sound worse than they are, but like Justice Potter Stewart said, Supreme Court Justice, I'll know it when I see it. If you're a new official, you need to watch some videos like this, watch some highlight videos, and understand what a slam is and what it isn't. Sometimes bigger wrestlers sound a lot worse than they are. Just be mindful that you're not calling a slam something when it's not. It is better to err on the side of caution, but in the same vein, you don't want to penalize or hurt a wrestler just because of their body size, because something sounded a whole lot worse than it is, and that just comes with experience.
Reynolds coming.
In this example, we're going to show you unsportsmanlike conduct during a match. There's a whole litany of ideas of what, or examples of what unsportsmanlike conduct is. Now again, teammates, most of the time, there has been a few times, if you ever wrestled, teammates do fight, but you shouldn't be fighting at a wrestling meet, especially in an example video. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these guys go out of bounds with no control established. On the way back to the center, our red wrestler is going to give the green wrestler here a push in the back. We're going to call the penalty. So guys, if you would, let's just real lightly act like we're going out of bounds. Go ahead. We're out of bounds, no control. Hey, whoa. We would look at our score table. We would get in between the wrestlers. We would say, I have unsportsmanlike conduct, red, 1 green. If you see that a hostile act has occurred, whether it's somebody drawing up like they're going to punch or something to that, or getting in like a karate stance or something like that, get in between the wrestlers. Hopefully the coaches see it. They're able to intervene as well. That way we don't have a flagrant misconduct. But it is a good example, a good rule of thumb, whoever you feel to be the aggressor, get in between them. After the situation breaks, you can signify that penalty, but we don't want somebody to get ejected just for heated emotions. Just a little rule of thumb. Now, if you are at a meet, you're not officiating, or the wrestlers aren't wrestling on the mat, whether it's a coach, coach, wrestler, team personnel, somebody that is associated with the team. Maybe you're going to the bathroom, or you're on break, or you're in hospitality room, wherever, and they come up and mouth off to you, ask you about your heritage, or tell you that you're going bald like I am. If it's something that you feel to be unsportsmanlike, you can call that. You would go back into the gym. You would have to notify the meet administration. If it was a wrestler or team personnel doing it, you would have to notify the head coach. You'd go back, you'd point them out. Your wrestler, 132, black shoes, wearing the headphones, contacted me in the hallway, said this. We would say we have unsportsmanlike conduct. That's a deduction of 1 team point. So there's unsportsmanlike conduct during the action, and there's unsportsmanlike conduct during the meet. When you signal it, you need to let the score table and the coaches involved know which penalty it is. Another penalty is unnecessary roughness, and the same thing, there's a whole litany of what unnecessary roughness could be, but in this example, our top wrestler, for this video, he's in control, of course, and he's going to come through with a crossface, a very, very, very forceful crossface that almost simulates a punch. Now, we're going to say it's a crossface, but we need to know the difference between a punch and a crossface. Our bottom wrestler is down, completely broken down. Top wrestler is going to have his hand on the back of his head at the same time, coming through with a crossface. We'll stop it, signify unnecessary roughness. So guys, if you would go ahead, get on him, head into the mat. He's holding him. Do that again. Hold it. Give him the business. There it is. Now do it. Boom. We would stop it. I have unnecessary roughness, green, 1 red. Unnecessary roughness, green, 1 red. Now, of course, you wouldn't do that twice. I'm just doing that for the video. And you would even say to the wrestler, hey, watch yourself, green. Watch yourself. Hopefully, the coach has already spoken up to the what are you doing? You know better than that. Hopefully, they've already got the message from their coach. Matches get heated. We understand that. But verbally officiate afterwards. Hey, come on now. Let's wrestle. Let's wrestle. Ain't no need for none of that. Unnecessary roughness can occur neutral on the top wrestler or the bottom wrestler. But when you see it, stop the match, signify it, and penalize accordingly.
You don't have it on. You don't have it on. You don't have it on.
Excuse me. Okay, that was unnecessary roughness.
Another penalty is technical violations, and there's a list of that. Coming to the mat area with like a greasy or oily substance on your body. Not coming to the mat ready to wrestle. Locking hands. There's a list. You guys will see the penalty chart. But in this one that we see a lot is wrestlers coming to the mat not ready to wrestle. Now again, like I said, there's a list. You guys should be seeing it here to one of my sides, whichever side I decide to put it in on. But in this example, we're going to penalize our green wrestler for coming to the mat not ready to wrestle, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we get set here. All right, fellas, get in, shake hands. We would stop the match. He's up, he's up. I've got a tech violation, green, one red. And you would, especially no matter what level it is, but in youth and middle school, not all the coaches are very familiar with what we're doing. High school, the same way as the sport grows. You need to say things out loud because the coach is going to be standing up. What happened? What happened? You need to be able to say, Coach, he come to the mat. Come over here to the camera. Coach, he had wristbands on. That's 1 point. And the coach is probably going to be like, it's 10 push-ups after the match. So you would instruct a wrestler, take the wristband off. He'd have to give it to his teammates or whoever, throw it over there. And come back to the mat ready to wrestle. We'd get them set again, and we would start. Now, just because somebody commits a tech violation like that doesn't mean that they can't correct the issue, come back, whether it's a wristband, a piece of body jewelry, whatever the case is, a necklace, a watch, whatever. Just make sure that you stop it before wrestling. Once you see it, you need to stop it. If you see it before a match starts, you need to stop it before you start the action. Another technical violation is locking hands. And of course, it has its own signal. Now, we're going to give you an example. In this, we're going to show you some around the body examples. We know that was a rule change. That's going to be its own video. Then we're going to show you how you should call it, okay? So our top wrestler here, our red wrestler, he's working, and we see he locks hands. He locks hands right here. Now, of course, you're going to be seeing images and videos of this, but for this, he's around the body. We see he's locking hands. As the official, what you need to do is signify that you saw it. You would hold your hands up like so. Now, I'm talking, of course, I don't need my whistle in my mouth for the video. If the bottom wrestler is flat or there's no imminent scoring opportunity. So guys, if you would go ahead and break down. When locking hands is seen, there's no imminent scoring opportunity, stop the match. He's up. You would signify to the score table. I got a technical violation, red, one green, locking hands. The locking hands has been called wrong for so long. People think you have to give a certain amount of time. There's other videos out there that show give them 10 seconds. No, that's not the way it is. In this example, we're going to show you when you should let it go. Now, the top wrestler already has his hands locked. I told him to do that. What we're going to show is when you shouldn't stop it, let the action continue. So get reset. Don't lock your hands until his leg comes up there, or like he's getting ready to move. So he's there. He's fighting the red wrestler there. Hasn't locked hands yet. The red wrestler then, when he feels movement, he starts maybe butt scooting or pressing back into him. Then he locks his hands. So go ahead. There you see some action. We would see it. We would hold it. The green wrestler is able to escape. Good. We saw the penalty. We let it continue because that was not a situation we should have stopped it. We could signify the penalty along with the escape. So the process would be when you saw the locking hands, you would hold it. Experience teaches you to let that keep going. You see the escape. So we have locking hands. We would signify. We wouldn't stop it. We would go locking hands, red, 1 green. 1 green, we're neutral. We let it go. Okay, we let that situation go. If an escape opportunity is there, we let that go. If we're on the edge of the mat, the person's working for an escape, locking hands has been signaled. It's a couple seconds. We don't want to let it go no more than 3 or 4 before we stop it. But stop it when there's no action on the bottom or the person can't improve their position. As you can see right here, there's no arm encircled, and he's locked his hands. That would be a stoppage, that is locking hands. This is another good example. Go ahead, top wrestler. He breaks him down. Now, don't move, base up so I can get you. He does have his arm trapped, but at the same time, he has locked his hands. That is the penalty of locking hands. Now in this situation, this is locking hands. Yes, he is around the body. He has an arm trapped, but his hands are together. Now if you would, top wrestler, move your hands out to the side, even touch them. Guess what? That is locking hands. Similar scenario from the bottom, but this could also be locking hands when around the body, hands are locked. Now, it doesn't matter how his hands, he can do his hands like that. He can interlock his fingers, do an S grip, whatever. Anytime you see around the body like that. Now, show us an example of when the hands are legal. All right, so he's got like a 1-on-1 there, even a 2-on-1, but his hands are not touching. Flagrant misconduct is called without warning. It's something very unique to wrestling, whether it's a punch, the use of certain words, whether it's racial, ethnic slurs, anything of that nature. You call it without hesitation. Don't give them a warning on flagrant misconduct. Flagrant misconduct, of course, no matter which wrestler it is, it's a pat of the head, signify it to the score table, and the wrestler who is called for flagrant has to leave the arena completely, and if there's suitable supervision. If not, they have to be confined to the upper part of the gym. If there is suitable supervision, they have to leave. And in some states, they're ejected for 3 contests. So we hate calling flagrant, but it's there for a reason, because we know active flagrant misconducts occur. Now, in our unnecessary roughness, we had somebody pushing our green wrestler here was holding our wrestler down, rubbing his face in the mat, got a cross face. We called it, as we should have. In this one, our red wrestler is going to be in a similar situation, but land a closed fist punch to the side of the head. Now, of course, like we said, these guys are, in theory, friends, teammates, so we're not really going to land a punch, but we're going to simulate it. We're going to call it as it should. So go ahead, get set there. They're wrestling. He breaks him down, gets him down on the mat. And then we see, perfect. As soon as we see that contact, we need to be moving in with blowing our whistle, trying to separate the wrestlers. We would make sure that the wrestler who threw the punch, we would get them separated. Hopefully coaches see it, get them out of the situation. We can call the penalty later, but we want to make sure that there's not a fight that's going. You don't have teams like a bench clearing brawl like in baseball. We want to make sure that the wrestler who committed the act is removed from that situation, and possible criminal charges couldn't follow, depending on how the family of the wrestler who was punched takes it. So we would, after the situation kind of calms down a little bit, we would signify. I have flagrant misconduct, red. Flagrant misconduct. Now wrestling doesn't have like a baseball, like an ejection, or in football, but it's an automatic ejection. You can tell the score table he's ejected, tell the coaches he's ejected, but we don't have a, he's out of here, or you're out of here, or whatever. We don't have that in wrestling. Our flagrant signifies that for whoever caused it. Flagrant misconduct can occur during the wrestling action. It can occur off the mat as well. Now in the rule book, we know that the referee's authority as far as the meet goes occurs when they arrive on scene and whenever they sign the last bout sheet or they sign the last duel sheet for the day. Any time in between that, especially if you're walking to your vehicle, if you got attacked, you wouldn't call a penalty on somebody, you would call the police. That's just the way it is. Same thing walking from your vehicle to the arena, you get assaulted, you should be calling the police. Signifying the penalty as well, but when it comes to wrestlers, you see a fight in the hallway. You see the use of tobacco. I know I always say that in referee meetings to the coaches. The use of tobacco, I've even got a video on that, is if you see a wrestler, a coach, team personnel, now if they go up to the bleachers, go to the hospitality room, go outside, got to have a breathing treatment, got to take a little dip, I'm not going to go looking for it, but if you come to the mat with a spit bottle, guess what? We're going to call that, and as you should. So whether it occurs during the match or it occurs outside of a match, flagrant misconduct can be called at a wrestling meet no matter when it is. Coach misconduct has to occur at the score table. Referees, you cannot call a coach for coach misconduct from the corner. If they're chirping at you, telling you you're terrible, you're blind, whatever the case is, Ray Charles could have seen that call. That's unsportsmanlike conduct. Coach misconduct occurs at the table, and it occurs when a coach questions your judgment or they take you to the table with the rule book for a rule misinterpretation. That's how you call it. You would let the coach be heard. Coaches, please come to the table respectful. Don't come like a screaming maniac. We don't want to do that. But as long as you're respectful, you feel you have a legitimate gripe, for the most part, you're going to be heard. Referees, let the coach be heard. Like I said, if they're respectful, if they think they have a legitimate gripe. If they're wrong or they're questioning your judgment, that's when you call the penalty. And it would be, you don't have to get on the PA system and announce it. You would just signify to the, because coaches know, they know when they're going to get penalized. You would signify to the score table, I have coach misconduct, red. I have coach misconduct, green. Now if it's a penalty, if that's their second time coming to the table, I have coach misconduct, green. That's the deduction of 1 team point. There's a difference between match points and team points. Match points determine the individual match winner. Team points determine who wins the tournament as far as accumulation goes or the duel goes. Match points and team points are different. Coach misconduct is the deduction of 1 team point for the first penalty. The third penalty, the deduction of 2 team points, and the removal from the premises. So coaches, please, if you have a legitimate gripe, that's fine, but understand that one too many times and you're going to have to watch it on a live stream because you won't be permitted in the gym. In wrestling, we do have a lot of moves, techniques that can be dangerous. And we have the signal potentially dangerous. And the illegal hold is this. Now, potentially dangerous is not a penalty. I want to make that clear. Potentially dangerous is not a penalty. Now, illegal hold is this move or this signal. Potentially dangerous is just one. It's like a half Nelson, what we're doing. And it really doesn't matter which hand that you use as long as you're stopping the match properly and signifying and you're saying potentially dangerous on the knee, potentially dangerous on the elbow, on the arm, whatever. The more you verbally officiate, the less issues in theory you should have. And there's, again, a whole, in Article 7 of the rule book, that's where you'll find this. I think Rule 722 is where, if memory serves. We're going to give one example here. Potentially dangerous can occur from neutral. It can occur from the top wrestler or bottom wrestler. Now, we're going to have our top wrestler run an arm bar. It's going to go past the grease that it should. So if you would, go ahead. So we're going to let our guys do an example here of a potentially dangerous bar on the back. It's going to come up a little bit too far. We're going to stop it and show you how you should proceed. So go ahead. We see it coming. He gets out. He runs it. We see what's coming. I got potentially dangerous on the elbow. Potentially dangerous. They'll know. Again, it's not a penalty. Potentially dangerous or not a penalty, but you need to say what it is. Don't just call it and go back. Say it. Let the whole gym know, the whole arena know. Potentially dangerous on the elbow. Potentially dangerous on the knee. Potentially dangerous wherever. The more that you can say that, the coaches know that you saw what they saw, or in theory they saw, and that you're in control of that match, and you're not there to get anybody hurt. Now in wrestling, the defensive wrestler, I asked them before we started if they knew this rule, so they're going to learn something here. If the defensive wrestler makes a hold or a technique illegal, guess what? The top wrestler doesn't get penalized. He gets stopped for potentially dangerous. So if we're here in a head and arm, illegal situation, and the top wrestler, the wrestler on the bottom pulls his arm out to make an illegal headlock, we would stop it as potentially dangerous. So go ahead and pull your arm out. We see it. We see what he's done. Potentially dangerous. Now you would probably have to go to the score table, the coach. As the bell rings here, as we change classes, the coaches will probably take you to the table and say, what was the call there? Well, coach, the bottom wrestler was in a legal technique. He pulled his arm out, made it illegal. It became potentially dangerous.